Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 54 of the Sunderland Till I Die series here on Football Manager 2021. And of course, if you are enjoying this series or any of the videos that I have released on this channel, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button, hitting that like button, hitting that notification bell to be alerted when these videos are released. It's very much appreciated. And I've got some really cool stuff coming up over the next few weeks, so you want to stick around for that. I would like to apologise in advance for any weird sounds you do hear in the background. My neighbours are currently doing DIY, so it's a little bit of an inconvenience because clearly they haven't heard of the famous Sunderland side that we currently have, and well, they're not going to be invited to our future title victory and parade and all that good stuff. Not invited. Guess who's back, ladies and gentlemen? Guess who's bloody back? Damn right, Lee Burge is back. He's back in the first team after the injury he did have. Unfortunately, with Lee Burge coming back, that seems to have triggered other players to go, you know what, I'm just going to injure myself. So we've got more injuries to Marcinho and George Dobson. The most inconvenient and frustrating one is definitely the Marcinho one. He's currently out for 5 to 10 days, so it's not a long-term injury, but frustrating nonetheless. And he, by far, has been the best player this season, but also probably the best player that I brought in throughout the entire series. 20 appearances, 8 assists, 4 man of the matches, a 7.22 average rating so far into this season. And I feel like as long as Marcinho doesn't get any more injuries that can hamper his season, I'm pretty convinced Marcinho can end up on like 15 assists or maybe even 20, something absolutely ridiculous. But that means he is going to be out for today's game against Nottingham Forest, a very difficult game, so not exactly ideal. And we're also going to be without George Dobson with a little bit more of a long-term injury than what Marcinho's was, with a 3 to 6 week injury layoff, which means he's going to miss all of December and probably all of January, which is not ideal at all when you consider on the footballing calendar, you're probably saying December and January are two of the most important months and probably the busiest as well. Now, losing him for that length of time is never ideal. However, the only very small, minuscule positive I can arguably take from this is that we are close to January. So if George's injury does get any worse, I can potentially bring a loan in or a free transfer. Because right now, I did say this at the start of the season, but our squad depth is, well, it's quite frankly absolutely bloody awful. Now, I did mention this at the start of this year, that if we did have several injuries at once, that we would have a little bit of an issue just because of how poor our squad depth is. Now, we're quite lucky, to be fair. It's never lucky to get an injury, but we're quite lucky that it was Marcinho and George Dobson that got injured, because we do have two capable replacements in Matt Sunday and Jordan Rossiter. Obviously, Matt, if you remember from last year, had a pretty horrific injury. I think he was out for like 7 to 9 months with a broken lower leg. So he's definitely not the player that he once was, but they're two very capable backups, I think, and them two will be fulfilling the place of George and Marcinho going into today's game. And Jordan Rossiter will be playing quite a few games in the next few weeks just because of George's long-term injury. Now, I do still have 1.8 million in the transfer budget going into January. As I said, I am going to be looking for some loans and some free transfers, but it's going to be very difficult. In January, it's always difficult to get some competent free transfers and loan deals done. So if we can't do that, I am going to be looking to spend this money. It just doesn't sit right with me seeing 1.8 million in the bank and just letting it fester, not doing anything. It's not a lot by any means at the championship level, but I do think we can get someone relatively decent. If we're quite lucky, we might find a regen from an obscure country that can bring in for cheap and be a decent player at this level with good potential. But we'll have to wait and see. But of course, since the last episode, which was the 2-2 draw away from home against Sheffield United, we played quite a lot of games. Thankfully, still a lot of positives in the games that you have missed. And we're still on track for that playoff position if we continue with these good run of results. Now, we've played 7 games in the league. No, sorry, 8 games in the league and 1 game in the Carabao Cup 4th round, resulting in 4 wins, 3 losses, and 1 draw. One of the losses was in the Carabao Cup 4th round, so we are out of the Carabao Cup. We never had any chance of winning it, so I don't really care. I just care about getting out of this championship into the Premier League and earning the sweet, sweet moolah. And game of the episode was a defeat at the hands of Cardiff, an away tie where we did unfortunately end up losing 3-1. Now let me tell you, viewers, Cardiff are in 18th place and they did not play like a team potentially battling playoffs. Instead, they gave us the absolute bloody runaround, dominating the game for the majority of the 90 minutes, it must be said. Pepper on our goal with 24 shots, 16 on target, and they're probably feeling quite unfortunate not to be scoring more than 3 goals. When you consider the XG they had, the corners, once again, the shots, they were probably unfortunate not to be scoring 4 or 5 or 6, and they probably deserve to be scoring that many. Now, we were absolutely awful. Absolutely bloody terrible, considering we were on a pretty good run before this game. Losing a game against a poorly positioned side like Cardiff, no disrespect to Cardiff, is quite frustrating. I was very frustrating. I came out of this game a little bit like, for God's sake, like a little bit downbeat, you know? We just didn't turn up at all, only having 4 shots on target, not even getting a decent XG. Somehow, though, we did score a goal, courtesy of Edmondson, who has been pretty good since coming in. And since coming in for that 325k, a lot of money, a lot of pressure on Ryan's shoulders, he's definitely been one of our better players so far this year. 14 games played, 7 goals, 3 assists, 1 man of the match, a 7.11 average rating. But yeah, unfortunately, we did lose the game 3-1. Thankfully, we were able to get ourselves to winning ways. We then had 3 victories against 3 pretty poor sides, being a 4-1 win at home to Preston, a 3-0 win away from home against Sheffield Wednesday, a 2-1 win at home against Bristol City. We then did lose, unfortunately, 4-2 away from home against Luton Town, but Luton Town currently sat in 8th place away from home. It was always going to be a pretty difficult game, but we didn't let that defeat stop us, as we did immediately get back to winning ways with a 2-1 home victory against Huddersfield, and then an away 0-0 draw against Birmingham. And all of them results have left us in 4th place in the league, with quite a nice sort of gap between us and 7th place Sheffield United, with a 5-point gap. Unfortunately, we have a bigger gap to close up with the likes of Swansea and Watford. We're currently 10 points away from Swansea and 15 points away from Watford. It's going to be pretty impossible to catch them too. I feel like we're probably not going to do it, but we can certainly try. Guasson, 12 goals, top goal scorer. Marcinho and Guasson also have won the highest average ratings, and Marcinho with the tied first, with 8 assists and 4 man of the matches from Marcinho as well. What a man he's been, and what a miss he's going to be for today's game against Nottingham Forest. They're currently sat in 5th place, so this is a huge game for the playoffs. We win this game, we create a bigger gap from the teams below us, and we also close the gap potentially with the teams above us. If we lose, we allow the teams such as Peterborough and Sheffield United and Reading to close up the gap on us. Now, we did talk about the team we are going to be putting out before, so we are going to have to put Rossiter in this midfield position. We're also going to have to put Ola Sunday at that right back, and Swedberg and Jimmy Dunn are struggling a little bit, but I can't really afford to let them rest in a game of this magnitude. I have just noticed Elliot Embleton is wanted by Middlesbrough. How much are you worth, Elliot? Was that 2 million? If an offer comes in for 2 million, Elliot, you are outski, mate. You are out. I'll pack your bags for you, Elliot. Middlesbrough, listen. Ring me, Middlesbrough. 2.5 million? You can have him, and then I'll reinvest it in much better players, and then beat you away and at home, and then upset Elliot. Elliot's done nothing wrong in this scenario. I'm just being horrible. Sorry, Elliot. Right, so this is going to be the first team going into today's game at home against Nottingham Forest. It's going to be Lee Burge in goal, back in goal, Matt Olasunde, McGuinness, Jimmy Dunn and Harry Pickering as your back 4, Sam Hughes, Elliot Embleton, Jordan Rossiter and Swedberg as our midfield diamond. We then have Edmondson and Ivan Cuisson as our striker duo. And I think that pretty much nails on how much we are struggling for strength and depth. The fact that we're not able to even fill a substitutes bench, which is quite ridiculous when you think about it. Only Wright, Velofsky and Patterson, Gooch and Basie able to get on the substitutes bench. I think we have grayed out players in them positions, actually, thinking about it. Right, individually, boys, it's going to be a tough game. But go out there against this Nottingham Forest side, fallen giants, and make them fall even further. Edmondson, hat-trick from you today, Sunshine. Go out there and make a difference. Let's go, boys. Come on. Okay, 5 minutes into the game, and what seems to be a very familiar pattern with our team as we struggle to get out the blocks early, as they do have a corner, and it's missed by everyone, and somehow that is ping-ponged everywhere and landed to Yates, who, quite frankly, is celebrating in front of his fans very aggressively, and that should be a yellow card. Where's the whistle? Yellow card. Shh, not going to blow that because that'd be ridiculously loud. Poor defending. It's missed by anyone. I think it's Jimmy Dunn that initially misses the header. And it's not a great start. Wow, Forest are all over us immediately. 5 shots already, very early on in the game. Right, I'm going to... What do I don't actually know what I'm doing at this point. I'm going to go a little bit more direct and a little bit quicker with our passing. We're going to run at them a little bit more to see if we can just create some sort of pressure. We always struggle initially getting into the game. I don't know why. It's later into the game that we tend to get into it, but obviously if the game's already gone at that point, there's literally no point. And Scully on the right hand side, lovely ball, whoever that was, Congolo, and he has an opportunity there, but looks like Burge may have had that covered. It was a lot more relaxed than I was, put it that way, as we are coming close to half time and we potentially have a chance here. Don't be a ridiculous throw in. That is a ridiculous throw. Why? Literally why? I mean, they are risking it. Cuisson, be a hero, mate. Be a hero. Oh my God, what a finish, Cuisson. He's literally just done a handstand in front of the... I mean, they are fuming. The opposition players are bloody fuming. What a finish from that, from Cuisson, that is. I mean, they linger on it a little bit there, Nottingham Forest, but Cuisson has no right to be finishing it from there. And the goalkeeper had bloody no chance. Could have had 2 goalkeepers in there at that point. Still wouldn't have been able to save it. 1-1. We probably don't deserve to be drawing 1-1 at this point. Probably still deserve to be 1-0 down. But the best player this season so far, Ivan Cuisson, alongside Marcinho, but he's not on the side. Ivan Cuisson saving our bacon as per usual. A 7.3 rating. What a goal. Goal of the season, ladies and gentlemen. Right, who is struggling? Wow, Embleton is really, really struggling right now. And I feel like I have to take him off. But the problem is, don't have a midfielder. So that's not exactly brilliant. I mean, Lyndon Gooch can play there, but can he play Mazzala pretty well? I'm not too sure he can. He's not particularly quick. He's good at dribbling and first touch, so maybe he can do a job there. But losing one of our best players in Embleton, who's potentially going to Middlesbrough, to a player that's not as good in Lyndon Gooch, is not bloody brilliant. As there is another opportunity. I was literally about to cut it there. Hiroki. Right, can we go on the counter-attack here? Folker. Every time I hear that name, it just reminds me of... Oh, it's a great finish. It's offside. Offside. Get the whistle. Get the bloody whistle. AAR. Alex, assistant referee. Alex, assistant referee. Learn the rules of the game, mate. Come on. You know the rules of the game. I mean, that is ridiculously close. Scott, it's a great finish. First time finish. Unfortunately for him, the offside rule exists. As we are 54 minutes in and chances bloody galore right now. Samba, it's a very interesting kick. Somehow it actually gets to the players. Johnson on the right-hand side. Are we going to put a tackle in or are we just going to let him... I mean, that is a ridiculous tackle. And we are under the cosh right now. Right, I'm going to berate them. I'm going to shout at them from the sidelines. I do need to make more subs, but I don't really know what I can do. I feel like... Yeah, Jimmy Dunn is... Oh, Jimmy Dunn's so good, though. This is the problem. My team is absolutely shattered. We're going to need 11 stretchers at this rate. Blimey, we are exhausted. Now, a late goal here would be fantastic. Can we get it against the run of play, boys? That's what I'm thinking. Olasunde on the right-hand side. Don't break your leg again. He's on a yellow card, though. Do not get sent off. It's headed away, but I feel like this could be an opportunity for us. Everyone, Pickering on left-hand side. Go on, Pickering. You were... Oh my God. You are kidding me. How is that not gone in? Right, final 20 minutes. We have another opportunity. A penalty would go very nicely at this point of the game. 20 minutes to go. Their motivation would be well and truly in the mud. Jordan Rossiter, on the right hand side to Ola Sunday. It's got to be a good ball. It's not a brilliant ball, but thankfully we're able to recycle it. Sam Hughes, deep line playmaker type player that I'm playing him in. Gooch. He's offside. If he's not offside, that is a brilliant finish. It's offside. Why does the offside rule exist? For God's sake. Oh, AAR wouldn't have given that. How close is this? It did look offside initially. I mean, to be fair, you could park half of Jose Mourinho's Tottenham bus in between them lines. Blimey. Right, demand more. Let's get another substitute on. Now, we all know in Football Manager, making substitutes, your third substitute is never a good idea. But you know what I am? I'm a maverick. I do not live by the rules. So Matt Olasunde, he's just come on about 15 minutes ago. He's coming immediately off. If we get an injury now, that is going to be a disaster. As we do go into the final few minutes of the game. Now, a goal here for them would break my heart. Another late goal. Please, game. Just don't do this. I can't deal with more late goals as time is ticking away. And, well, that's a very anticlimactic end of the game, innit? That was... I mean, we are... To be fair, we probably were pretty lucky to hold on to the game since we scored. I mean, as I said, it was a great finish from Guasson. We probably didn't deserve to draw that game. We definitely deserved to lose. But a 1-1 draw against a very, very difficult Nottingham Forest side. And that does leave us in 4th place. Unfortunately, it looks like... No, Swansea drew. Did they? Did Swansea draw? Yes, it did. 3-3. Wow, what a game. Birmingham, I mean, there's a lot of goals in the Championship, isn't there? Did Peterborough lose? Where's Peterborough? Peterborough, did they play? They didn't play, I don't think. Watford obviously won because it's Watford. Adam Ida scoring them. Ugh, right. So, a 1-1. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty happy. We're still unbeaten in 3 games, which doesn't sound as good now that I've said it. I think we're going to come back for the game against Swansea. Oh, yeah. I was going to go with Fleetwood. Then I realised they were 17th place. We're going to go with Swansea away from home in 2nd place. Hopefully it'll be a 2nd v 3rd or a 2nd v 4th, whatever. Sort of game where I'm actually still up there. And we will finish January as well. So you'll see the signings that I will hopefully make. So we are going to come back for that game. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I really, really do appreciate it. Of course, if you have enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to be alerted when these videos are released. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're in the world. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.